Jenny sat anxiously at her desk, her leg bouncing nervously under the table. Her boss had just asked her to present their marketing plan to the executives the very next day. Her stomach dropped at the thought. Public speaking had always been Jenny's worst nightmare. Ever since college, even the thought of presenting in front of a group made her break out in a cold sweat. But she knew she couldn't avoid these situations forever. She had to face her fears head on. That night, Jenny stayed up late rehearsing her presentation out loud, pacing back and forth in front of her mirror. She must have gone through it 20 times, but with every run-through, her anxiety only spiked higher. By the time she collapsed into bed, she felt nauseous. "I can't do this," she thought, her throat tight. The next morning, Jenny's nerves were frayed. As she rode the elevator up to the boardroom, her paper coffee cup trembled in her hands, hot liquid lapping at the sides. When the doors opened, she wanted to turn and run, but she didn't. With limbs made of lead, she walked into the boardroom. All eyes turned to her. As Jenny opened her mouth, her voice quavered, but she began speaking, working through her slides one by one. And with each slide, her confidence grew. She made eye contact, smiled, and spoke passionately about her recommendations. When she finished, to her shock, the executives rose from their seats, clapping loudly. "Brilliant work, Jenny," her boss exclaimed. Jenny walked back to her desk in a daze. Her anxiety had slipped away, replaced with a surge of pride and joy. In that moment, Jenny realized the truth. Her anxiety didn't have to hold her back. She was stronger and braver than she thought. If she could face her biggest fear, she could do anything. Her anxiety may never disappear completely, but from now on, she knew she could rise above it. And that made all the difference. Jenny's success in the boardroom was a turning point in her life. She started to see herself in a different light, as someone who was capable of facing her fears and achieving her goals. She began to apply this newfound confidence to other areas of her life, taking on challenges that she would have shied away from before. For example, Jenny had always dreamed of traveling the world, but her fear of flying held her back. After her success in the boardroom, she decided to take the plunge and book a trip to Europe. She was nervous on the flight, but she kept reminding herself of how she had faced her fear of public speaking and come out on the other side. When she arrived in Paris, she felt like a new person, full of energy and excitement. Jenny also started to take on more leadership roles at work. She volunteered to head up a new project team, and she found that her colleagues respected her more than ever before. She was able to communicate her ideas clearly and confidently, and she didn't shy away from difficult conversations or decisions. Over time, Jenny's anxiety didn't disappear completely, but it became less of a hindrance in her life. She learned to manage it better, using techniques like deep breathing and visualization to calm herself down when she felt nervous. She also sought out therapy and support groups, which helped her to understand her anxiety better and learn from others who were going through similar struggles. Jenny's success story was an inspiration to others, too. She started to share her experiences with friends and family, and she even gave a talk at a local community center about how she overcame her anxiety. She found that by being open and honest about her struggles, she was able to connect with others on a deeper level and help them to feel less alone. Looking back on her journey, Jenny realized that her anxiety had been a gift in disguise. It had forced her to confront her fears and push herself out of her comfort zone. And in doing so, she had discovered a strength and resilience that she never knew she had. She felt grateful for the experience, and she knew that she would never let her anxiety hold her back again.